Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and in today's episode of the Wrestling Revisit, I'm going to be doing a review of SummerSlam 2005. So starting off the show, Chris Benoit defeated Orlando Jordan to become the new United States Champion, and I'm going to do a full match recall of this match. It's something I don't normally do on my review videos, but they locked up, Orlando Jordan got a strike in, Chris Benoit German suplexed him, applied the crossface, and he tapped out and we were done. A complete squash match. Benoit completely punked out Orlando Jordan, and yeah, I mean, it's fair enough, I guess. It's a ballsy move to have the opening match be a squash, but it's also very fun to go that way. It's very unexpected, and yeah, I kind of wish they'd do this kind of more often on pay-per-views. Like if they made it, instead of a 5-match show, they made it 7, but one of them was a squash match every so often. I feel that'd be quite good. I feel like the allure of a squash match has kind of been missing for the last few years. I feel like if they suddenly did it on pay-per-view, a bit like how they did with Rhea Ripley and Natalya a couple of years ago in Night of Champions, I feel like would actually be quite well received. But yeah, no, very interesting way to start a pay-per-view, and yeah, Benoit walks out the new United States Champion. After that, we had Edge with Lita defeat Matt Hardy via referee stoppage after Matt pretty much couldn't defend himself anymore. But yeah, it was another short match, but I don't think it went as how everyone expected it to go, you know, with the fact that it had to get cut short because of referee stoppage. But I feel like it helped the storyline, if anything else. Obviously, this was the infamous story where, you know, the real-life cheating of Lita and Edge on Matt Hardy kind of came onto TV after they kind of made up and stuff and everything was okay, and they brought it onto TV. But yeah, like this, I think I've said it a few times. This is the feud I show people if I want to get people or show people some wrestling, because it's like very easy to understand storyline. Someone cheats on somebody else, they want to get revenge, and they go through all that stuff. But yeah, I thought the build up for this match was great. The match itself was fine for like the most part, very hard hitting. You know, it was never going to be lockups and wrist holds, but you know, I feel like this match worked for what it was supposed to do for this event, it being the first match of 3, I believe they had, because they had a rematch at Unforgiven in the cage, and then they had a match on Raw where we saw Matt Hardy leave Raw to go to SmackDown. But yeah, Matt looked completely out of it by the end of the match, so I can understand why they kind of stopped it. The fact that Edge kept going in for Matt was very cruel, kicking him straight in the head even when he wasn't doing anything, he was just laying there. But it fit Edge's character really, really well. So yeah, everything about this worked for me. I mean, if it was supposed to end by referee stoppage, then fair play to him, because that's 2 short matches in a row, which is, again, something we never see. And if it did end abruptly, then you know what, it kind of helped the story, so again, it still works. So yeah, I have nothing but positive for this one because everything worked out well. Following that, we have the infamous ladder match where Rey Mysterio defeated Eddie Guerrero for the custody of Dominic. And yeah, what a crazy stipulation this is. How they got away with it, I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, it was a load of fun, I guess. The match was pretty decent. And the funny thing is now is that Dom looks more like Eddie than he does Rey, which is very funny. But yeah, imagine winning the custody of your son and then him leaving you for a hot goth by the end of all of it. Or not at the end of all of it, but like many years in the future, he betrays you for a hot goth. Man, what a time we're living. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the fact of Dirty Dom, maybe Eddie should have won this one. Maybe it would have worked out better in the whole run for Dominic. You know, you never really know. But like a good heel, Eddie used the ladder really well and took advantage almost immediately from the get-go of the ladder stipulation. The back drop kick spot from Rey, when he fell, the ladder almost contorted and Rey almost landed straight on his spine on the side of a ladder, which would have been awful. It looked, I've got on my notes, it looked woeful. That's how bad it really was. But yeah, Guerrero threatening to smack Dom is crazy. Again, just to add to the like ridiculous stakes of this match, to have Eddie raise the hand to Dom when we know like he wouldn't have hit him unless it would have been totally okay with everyone and they would have got a load of controversy behind it. But yeah, I mean, as I said, luckily for Dom, he can use that as a kind of trauma story to help him get even more women, which I feel like would be completely fair enough in my opinion if I was in Dom's position. But yeah, like if you think about it, Vicky Guerrero has always been a heel. You know, she helped Rey Mysterio, the biggest bastard in wrestling, in my opinion, because I hate Rey Mysterio. she cost Eddie the match, even though she's supposed to be Eddie's wife. Like, you know, there needs to be some real conversations going on there, because I don't think people see Vicky as a babyface here when she's helping a heel. But yeah, no, it was a good babyface moment, I suppose. But, you know, in the long run, was it a good babyface moment? Because, you know, Ray would go on to be a deadbeat father. So really, you know, I do bear the question again. Should Eddie have won this one? So then Dom would have got the upbringing he deserved. Got the Mercedes that he deserved, not a crappy BMW. I think that's the right one to go for. But, you know, Eddie would have been there for Dom, and Ray wasn't. So, you know, kind of funny when you think about it in hindsight. After that, we had Kurt Angle defeat Eugene with Christy Hemme to win back his Olympic gold medals. And yeah, I mean, what a crazy match for Eugene to have. He faces Triple H one year, faces Kurt Angle another year. You know, pretty crazy SummerSlam record. By the way, I once interviewed Eugene. Go check that out on Bobby's Breakdowns channel. I'll hopefully remember to link it somewhere. If not, there is a playlist on my channel with a load of streams that I did with Bobby, including that interview, so go check that out. But yes, Angle went straight in for this one. There was absolutely no feeling out process, no, you know, slow start. Angle went absolutely in for Eugene, and yeah, it was a great way to start the match. There was glimpses of Perk Angle, you know, which, you know, before it was cool to say Perk Angle. I'm sorry, Kurt, I know you like being called Perk Angle. Kurt, there. Perk Angle, but you were throwing Eugene around like he was nothing. But yeah, I mean, crazy to think when Eugene hulks up, he actually becomes a pretty decent professional wrestler. And yeah, I mean, he really took it to Kurt. But again, Kurt Angle pretty much made short work of Eugene. Another quite short match on this one. But yeah, the fact that this match even happened in the first place is pretty nuts when you think about like the whole character of Eugene. But yeah, again, great match, great bit of fun, but very short again. Not really much else to say on this one, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's all very good and very high paced. But yeah, I mean, Angle wins back his gold medals and I believe goes on to feud with John Cena afterwards, so it's not too bad. Following that, Randy Orton, with the help of Cowboy Bob Orton, his dad, defeated The Undertaker. And yeah, this was the best match on the show by far, in my opinion. These two worked really well together. They had I think they had a trilogy of matches, if not more matches, throughout the summer into the winter of 2005. But yeah, the pacing was great. It was evenly contested, especially in the second half of the match. Overall, it was just very good. Like, the first half was more towards Undertaker with the slow and methodical pace that he normally goes for. But you know, guys, especially like recently with Roman Reigns, Undertaker, it's like done very cleverly, because like even though it's very slow, it doesn't like make the match feel dragged out, which is very good to experience, and it's like the way of doing it properly. And then yeah, we got the young, quicker pace of Randy Orton against that in more of the second half, where it kind of evened out with maybe like Orton just getting the advantage, obviously because he got the win. But yeah, Orton played tactically very well in this one. It was clear he was learning from the mistakes he made at WrestleMania 21 when he faced and lost against The Undertaker, reversing Old School and the Tombstone, and then getting help from his dad to steal the win. But yeah, everything here made perfect sense as far as Orton getting the win and setting up for matches down the road. And yeah, it was a good way to, again, keep the feud going throughout the rest of the year. So yeah, just like some of the other matches here, it's all positives from me. Really nothing wrong with this one at all. Definitely go check this out. I think this one and the Hell in a Cell match are the two better matches in my opinion, though the WrestleMania 21 match is good as well. It's just that I prefer the other two. But you said, yeah, Randy Orton obviously being put over by The Undertaker was great as well. The fact that he actually got that win, and the fact that Taker was vying for him to be the one to break the streak as well was pretty cool. So yeah, I feel like everything kind of worked well here, and Orton like massively benefited from this. After that, we had John Cena defeat Chris Jericho to retain the WWE Championship in a match that was decent. I've noticed over watching a few matches between these two that the chemistry between Cena and Jericho isn't really there. Like, there's a lot of matches that kind of So for me, what especially stands out is Survivor Series 2008, when they had a match for the World Heavyweight Championship. That match wasn't particularly good either, because something just seemed to be very off between them, and sometimes wrestlers just don't have chemistry, and it's just one of those natural things that happens. It's nothing against either guy, nothing like happened within the match by either person to make this a not good match. But yeah, just something just doesn't feel right between these two wrestling for some reason. But yeah, the crowd came to life for this one though. Like they were the one kind of making this one more positive than negative. I feel like if they had kind of felt the way I did throughout, this could have been like a real downer part of the show, but they absolutely came to life. As I said in this one, they were cheering all over the place for both the guys. But yeah, so Chris Jericho controlled the match for the most part. Then Cena showed good resiliency, like a good babyface, when he was kind of getting to the era of him kind of dominating a lot. But yeah, overall, I said the match was fine. It wasn't really anything special. Said something just isn't quite right between Cena and Jericho, or just something doesn't seem to click when they wrestle. But I said it's neither one of their fault. It's just one of those things, I guess. But I said it was a decent match, just nowhere near the best match on this card. Following that, we had Batista defeat JBL in an no DQ match to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. In a match that got straight into it, during Batista's entrance, JBL kind of went for Batista and it got pretty much turned around very quickly, and then they kind of had an even fight throughout the crowd and then into the ring. But JBL works so well in like no DQ matches, and there's like no I Quit matches or street fights and all that kind of stuff. I found like one of my favourite matches is JBL and Cena from Judgment Day earlier that year, or the year before, 2000. You know, I mean, the I Quit match where Cena gets absolutely bloodied. It's like one of my favourite matches. I absolutely love that one. But yeah, he smack talks so much, and he's pretty much willing to go for anything to get the win, which I very much enjoy about JBL in kind of no rules matches. Like, because normally not a big fan of JBL in like just regular matches, normal wrestling wise. But as soon as it becomes no rules and he like takes advantage of that, I do actually quite enjoy some of his matches. So yeah. But yeah, no, it's the dynamic here worked really well between these two. Batista looked great as a win, just like Cena and Jericho's match. The heel controlled for the most part, but then the babyface overcame the heel, and yeah, the Batista one on the steps looked brutal, but any kind of power one that Batista does tends to look pretty awful. But yeah, it was a good first defense on SmackDown for Batista, and as I said, overall, it was a really good match. I very much enjoyed it for the most part. It felt short, like that's kind of what doesn't make it great for me, just good, is because again, it felt like, you know, I don't know whether it was just the feeling that it felt short or whether it was quite a short match. Also, not a lot of no DQ stuff used other than the steps and a couple of weapons. Most of it was just done as brawling outside the ring. But as then, you know, and the belt was used as well at one point. But yeah, I kind of watched it and wanted a bit more out of it. I felt like they could have maybe gone a little bit longer. Maybe there was a reason for that they didn't. But it's an overall good match. Not much no DQ in a no DQ match, but the right person won. It was a good first defense for Batista. And finally, in the main event, Hulk Hogan defeated Shawn Michaels in a interesting matchup. How to describe this one? It's crap wrestling, but it's entertaining as fuck. But yeah, there's no point in kind of talking about wrestling because it's just a massive laugh. But yeah, it's old Hogan. It's pretty much can't be asked. Shawn Michaels when he's in one of the moods of, you know, this guy's been an asshole, I'm just going to be a prick back to him, essentially. It felt to me like how he acted in DX originally. Not the 2006 one, the 90s DX. But no, it was absolutely spectacular to watch. Obviously, the story behind it is that the original idea was for Hogan and Michaels to have 3 matches. You know, Michaels wins 1, Hogan wins 2, and that's kind of it. They have a trilogy of matches, a good old feud, and then they move on. But then kind of not, I want to say at the last minute, but one of the final calls was Hulk Hogan didn't want to do 3 matches. He only wanted to do 1, and he was going to win this one in very Hulk Hogan fashion because he doesn't know how to put people over unless they are controversial. Ultimate Warrior. But yeah, I mean, obviously very difficult to kind of insult Hulk Hogan at the minute because of what happened last week. But honestly, just having Hogan kind of change his mind at the last second is ridiculous. And why would you not want to have 3 matches with Shawn Michaels? It's not as if it's like a younger guy where you don't know whether they're going to come good or not, like he had the feud with Randy Orton where he went over as well. But yeah, it's like, it's Shawn Michaels, one of the best to ever do it. Why would you not want to work with him more? But, you know, Hogan will be Hogan, or what Hogan was to be Hogan. I don't know how you put it now. But yeah, just, I mean, I don't like Hogan, so it's one of those things. And now I can't talk as much smack as I probably wanted to, but it's fine. But yeah, this could have been something very special as far as a rivalry goes. Hogan didn't want to do that for the fans, you know, kind of says a lot about him. But either way, it don't matter. But yeah, it was a really funny way to end SummerSlam. Michaels throwing himself around the way he was just fantastic to see, and it's a match that certainly gets remembered a lot, so you know, they can't say that it's not memorable. But yeah, just a very interesting way to finish SummerSlam, and obviously Hogan getting the win isn't great, probably should have been Michaels, but it is what it is. So those are my thoughts and opinions on SummerSlam 2005 during this episode of the Wrestling Revisit. So yeah, do put down below in the comments what you thought of the show, what you thought of the Hogan match, what you thought of any of the matches really, but especially that one as it was so entertaining. And yeah, so do put some recommendations below in the comments for any pay-per-views you want me to revisit. I'm going for kind of 2001 to kind of 2019 time, so before the pandemic, but after kind of the eras that I don't know, like the Golden Era and the Attitude Era I don't know a lot about. But, you know, Ruthless Aggression Era to Pandemic, I feel like it's a really good place, and there's a lot I can cover in that space. The next one is probably going to be... No, the next one is TakeOver NXT... Oh my god. NXT TakeOver New York. After that, I'm doing the first Forbidden Door, and then after that is going to be Unforgiven 2006. But as I do... comment down below some suggestions and I will get to them eventually. But yeah, if you're enjoying this series and this video just in general, or this preview in general, do leave a like below, and yeah, do share and subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow the TikTok as well and the Instagram, they'll be linked in the description. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.